guys, today I am going to do my current everyday makeup routine. I haven't done an everyday makeup routine in a long time, and this is a routine that I have kind of consistently been wearing for a couple of weeks, and I absolutely love how it looks on my skin. There's no bronzer involved, so it's a little bit of a departure from what I usually wear my makeup like. I'm totally embracing the pale skin. Maybe it's this strobing trend that has just taken over Instagram and YouTube. I'm just abandoning the contour and the bronzer temporarily. But anyway, let's just get started, shall we? First, I'm going to pop on some primer. Today I'm using my Arbonne makeup primer. I do pretty much wear primer every day, even if I don't use them in every tutorial. I think for like my actual everyday makeup, I do always put a primer on, and I totally alternate. I find a lot of my primers to be quite interchangeable. Like this one is very similar to my MAC Prep and Prime. It's one of those kind of gel, slippy, very silicone-y type primers, which are the type of primers that I tend to prefer on my skin. And for my foundation, today I'm going to use the Lancome Teint Miracle. This is in the colour 005. I've used this on and off, and every time I come back to it, I fall in love with it all over again. It's absolutely beautiful. It's quite liquidy. It's not as liquidy as those kind of dry oil texture foundations like the MERCIER one that I can't remember the name of. I can't remember the name of any of them. You know the ones that come in droppers. It's not as runny as that, but it's more runny than a usual liquid foundation. The coverage is spectacular, and I find it lasts really well, and it doesn't show up any of the dryness around my nose. I do oftentimes, especially this area here, I don't know if it's because of sunglasses or glasses or what it is, but I do always get like a little bit, almost like a little bit of dermatitis right across this part of my face. And sometimes foundations can really exaggerate the dryness around there, but this one doesn't. And it lasts lovely, and yeah, just a really, really good colour match for my natural skin too. I'm not wearing any tan, so this is me, au naturel. I'm going to do my eyeshadow primer next, because that is definitely how I tend to prefer to kind of order my makeup in. I like to do the eyeshadow primer, as I've explained multiple times, at this stage, so that I can put it underneath my concealer. So I put it on my lower lash line too, and that really makes a huge difference in stopping your concealer from creasing if you've got any lines or wrinkles under there, which we all have. And also putting it through my brows just to help my eyebrow pencil producty stuff to stay in place there as well. For my concealer today, I'm using my Nars Creamy Concealer. This is in Vanilla, and this is heavy duty concealer. If you haven't tried it yet, it's serious full coverage, and it's quite a thick consistency. So for everyday makeup, a little bit goes a long way. You definitely just need a tiny bit and then really, really work it in. But it does last very well, and it does completely cover dark circles. Just whatever excess is on my brush, I'm just going to push that around my nose as well. A little bit red around there. I'm just going to take my ring finger to gently press on top of that concealer, just to make sure it's really well melted into the skin and there's no brush streaks or anything through it. And then to set that, I'm using my new favourite, my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Ethereal Light, and I'll just run that under the eyes very lightly, and just really kind of the areas of my face where it's unflattering to be shiny. So chin, this part of my cheek here, just through the centre of my forehead. But that foundation does set, so I don't really feel like I need to put it anywhere on the outside of my face, so I won't. Next, for my highlight, I'm going to use a cream highlighter, which is probably a little bit of hassle for most people for their everyday makeup, but I actually quite enjoy putting on cream highlight. I find it quite therapeutic. And for that, I'm using Pearl Cream Color Base by MAC. So this is a white highlighter. Apparently, this is the best-selling MAC product in South Korea. So this is one of the most popular products over there for getting that really luminous, glowing skin, because it is that white color rather than a yellow or a gold or a champagne. It's just pure bright white. And I'm going to put it on my finger. So I'm taking my middle finger and just kind of warming the product up. It's really cold in Sydney. It's the middle of winter here, and I don't have central heating, so it's really cold. So all of my cream products are rock solid. And I'm just going to tap that right onto the top of my cheekbone and up onto my brow bone. And this is going to be quite easy to blend in actually, because I haven't powdered this section of my face. And I'm going to take the brush I use for my foundation and just buff over this section. I don't want it coming too close. So it's pretty easy to put on. And I'll also take a little bit just right at the tip of my nose for that pearly highlight. And Cupid's bow. That's a little bit too much. And then for my cheek color, and this is the only color I'm going to be using on my skin, I'm going to use Nars ORGASM. I've just really been enjoying this blush recently. Even though it has gold shimmer in it, which kind of is not what's going on with the highlight we already have on the cheeks, it's a lot warmer. It's still, I don't know, it just still looks beautiful with the pale skin and that like white highlight. It's just a lovely rosy pink blush. I'm going to put that right on the apples of my cheek. So depending on the color of the blush and the effect that I'm going for, sometimes I put my blush a lot further back. Usually if my blush is more of a brown or a peach tone, I tend to put it a little bit further back on the cheek, but something that's quite rosy and pink I like to put on the apple of the cheek, and it gives a much fresher kind of appearance, especially with natural makeup looks like this. And that is it for the skin. So it's really luminous and glowy and fresh and natural, but still very perfected, which is perfect for everyday makeup, I think. So I'm going to move on to my brows, and today I'm using brow powder. I'm using my Anastasia Brow Duo in Caramel. Just going to take a spoolie, brush the hairs up first. Just very lightly, giving my brows a bit more structure. Brow powder gives a slightly softer finish than a pencil and tends to last a bit longer, so good for an all-day, everyday makeup look, especially with that eyeshadow primer on underneath. So moving on to the eyes, today I'm going to be using colours from the LORAC Pro palette. This is like my third attempt at saying LORAC Pro palette. I know that this has gotten kind of mixed feedback online. I've been using it for the past couple of weeks. I really quite like it. Definitely some shades are better than others. Some are a little bit more powdery than others. Some give a bit more fallout than others. The colours that I'm going to be using today though are nice, and I'm going to be using the kind of mauvey pinky browns and champagne tones on the eyes, which I think works really well on very, very fair skin for a neutral eye. So first I'm going to take Cream, which is just a matte neutral flesh colored. Just going to pop that into the crease, and then into this very, very inside portion of my eye, and that's just to take down the discoloration and blue tones in there. And putting it into the crease just makes any colours that I am going to, any darker colours I'm going to put in, a little bit easier to blend when I get to that point. Next, I'm going to take Nude, which is the lightest kind of shimmery colour. I'm going to just dust off the excess on the back of my hand. Did get quite a bit of, you do pick up quite a bit of product with these powders, with these eyeshadows, so that is something to be aware of for sure. Just going to pop that right under my brow bone. It's the brow bone highlight. Actually, I'm going to pop a little bit of that right on the inside as well to add a little bit more of a sheeny highlight in there. Next, I'm going to take Champagne, which is just like a slightly darker, also shimmery color, slightly darker version than Nude. And just using the same brush, this is going to be a very simple eye look, guys. Just buff that over the moving part of the lid. I'm just going to go back into Nude, actually, that very lightest colour, and just take my ring finger and just looking up, I'm just going to pop that around the tear duct. Because realistically, when I'm doing my makeup every day, I don't try and find specific brushes for little areas of my face. So really I should be using a pencil brush or something for in here to be a little bit more precise, but I'm usually really lazy. And if it comes down too far, which it kind of did there, I'm just going to use the brush I used for the concealer. Just buff it away. No big deal. Back into the palette, I'm going to take Mauve, which is a lovely kind of plummy grey colour. I'm just going to pop that on the outside third of the eye and then into the crease. With that same colour and the same brush, just going to very lightly pop that on the lower lash line too. And then finally, for a bit of definition, I'm going to take an angle brush and a little bit of deep purple, which is like a deep blackened plum colour. And definitely take off the excess, so just dab that in. This is one of the slightly powdery colours, so just so you don't get a ton of fallout under your eyes, just tap off the excess. And then I'm just gonna drag that along the roots of the lashes. Thicken it up, just kind of go over it a few times on the outside so it lifts a little bit at the outside corner of my eye. Take the fluffy brush, the same brush I've been using the whole time, and just buff over that just to soften it in. And then finally, I'm going to pop on some mascara. Today I'm using MAC's HAUTE and Naughty. HAUTE and Naughty. What way do you pronounce it? I'm going to start off with the pink side, which is the lighter side. Which you could use this just by itself if you don't like your mascara to be too dramatic for nighttime or for daytime. It just gives a really light layer. What I really love about this mascara actually is the option that you do have kind of the heavier and the lighter side, but also that it's a really black formula. Just using the point of the mascara to get right into the very inside corner, get all those little baby lashes in there. And if you're like me, you like your mascara a little bit more dramatic, I'm going to go over it with the second side, so the purple side, which is just a little bit more dramatic. I find you definitely get more separation and volume with your lashes when you do it one after the other, so do the light layer first, rather than going straight into the more dramatic side. Eyes finished, onto the lips. I have been loving this combination of lip products. First of all, I'm going to take WHIRL Cool Whip WHIRL lip pencil by MAC, which tones in really well with those eye colors. Actually, it's like a soft, slightly plummy pink. And then on top of that, I'm using a new product for me. I've been using this for the past couple of weeks. Really quite like it. It's one of the L'Oreal Infallible. Oh my god, there's actually no information on this whatsoever. It's one of their dual lip stainy things. So stain and then balm on the other side. So it's one of their long wearing ones. This color though is magnificent. This is number... Why don't they put names on anything? 111 Permanent Blush. It is the perfect colour to go with this lip liner. And then the final touch for me, because I have just been completely obsessed with doing this with my makeup recently, I'm going to draw on some freckles. I'm just going to use the eyebrow powder and an eyeliner brush and just dot. I'm getting really fast at it now. I don't even need to look at what I'm doing. The more random, the better. I just like to keep them at the centre of my face. Try and kind of vary the pressure you use with your brush too, so you get some are bigger, some are darker, and you have a few kind of small light ones in there too. And of course you don't want to leave it like that because that just looks crazy. So I'm just going to take the concealer brush and just dab over the top just to tone them back a smidge. And you know what, I'm actually going to take some of the balm that comes with this and just pop that over the lips as well, just to make it a bit more comfortable. And there you go, that's the finished look. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It's very simple, very straightforward, but I think the combination of some of those products is just really beautiful, especially on very pale skin like me. So I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for new videos every Monday and Friday. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you very soon. Bye.